Rugby League's greatest occasion.
16 teams into 2. The Battle of the West.
On one side, you have TikTok sensation Nathan Cleary. Many say he's the face of the game.
He's definitely the chin.
And what about Mitch?
Let go by the Tigers so they could keep Luke Brooks.
Cue the fireworks, Dids.
We can't afford them.
Hey all, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Dan, a weekend of Rugby League.
A weekend of Rugby League, and there was a plethora of Rugby League. Absolutely loved it. It's getting serious now.
Absolutely. We're at the business end, the grand final, as you saw on our intro.
That's going global, viral, as we discuss.
It's bigger than the grand final.
It absolutely
But
is.
anyway, speaking of the grand final, the Battle of the West, a textbook storyline grand final. How are you feeling about the grand final?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
I'm not nervous because I don't care who wins, straight up. But in terms of storyline, as you alluded to, it's perfect.
Yeah, look, I kind of...
Get it? Perfect.
As
The cat joke.
As the final series rolled around, it felt like that if it was going to be 2 of the top 4 teams, this was it. I didn't think Cronulla or the Cowboys were ever going to pose a serious threat to the teams that got through.
That's completely fair. I mean, we got sides. I mean, these are probably the 2 best sides in terms of pure quality. Brad Arthur cops a lot of grief, but I'd say, they keep making the finals.
Yeah.
There's only that one year they missed out by a long way, but other than that...
And by a long way, you mean the wooden spoon.
Yeah, I do. Just want to get that in there before Parramatta enjoy us too much this week. But look, in terms of a story, I go back again. I mean, you've got the 2 teams that hate each other. They've both been talking a big game all off-season, all throughout the season. Parramatta got them twice. Then when it got serious, Penrith flicked them away with ease. Parramatta got a chance to right the wrong this week. And look, you've got to be braver than me to say they can't.
I don't think they will. I think, they got them twice in the season. But Penrith are going to get them twice where it counts.
That's completely fair. I'm very, very excited about this game.
It's going to be huge.
I think it's going to outrate that AFL dud, that's for sure.
What I'll say is, for Parramatta to be in with a chance against Penrith, they need to be absolutely perfect.
True.
Their first half against the Cowboys, where they only completed at 60%, fair enough in the second half. But if you're gonna only complete 60% of your sets and make lots of errors in your own half, as we saw when South Sydney started doing it,
game over.
Yeah. Now, this is the other thing as well. If you have to have a look at the game on the weekend, Penrith and South. South Sydney were perfect for 35 minutes and led 12-0.
Yep, true.
Penrith were perfect for 45 minutes and won 32-12.
Yeah, they're in another world.
Yeah.
I don't think... I mean, the betting odds are ridiculously skewed one way, and for good reason. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the event, the build-up, the week, as much as I want Cronulla to be there, you couldn't write a better script.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Wouldn't want to. Now, speaking of Souths, on the weekend, it looked like they were on their way to the grand final. And I don't think if they beat Penrith, they'd probably go on and win the premiership. First team outside the top 4 to do it. Stuffed it up, though.
Look, 5 prelim finals in a row. We should be talking dynasty. We should be talking a side up there with Penrith. But no one remembers if you don't make grand finals, and no one remembers you if you don't win one.
And look, in this run, they've had the chance to take on the Roosters in a grand final, and they missed that opportunity. They had a chance to beat Penrith. And imagine if we're talking about this Penrith team and how good they are with no titles going into this game here. It's a different story for Parramatta. Unfortunately, South, they haven't been able to get over the line. People have been saying, oh, what about if they had Adam Reynolds here? They had Adam Reynolds.
Yeah,
what if we had Latrell? Well, now you had Latrell. Now it's what if we had Adam Reynolds and Latrell? Nah.
You can't do that. Ricky Stewart proved that last week. I think they go backwards from here. By very definition, the regression is coming. 5 prelims in a row, you take that all the time. You expect 3 grand finals, 2 titles.
I'm also going to say, I don't think they're going to regress backwards in terms of the ladder position because they finished 7th. But I think that's what it is for South now. It's 7th.
Fair. Yeah, completely fair.
Now, talking of dynasties, the Penrith Panthers won SG Ball.
Yep.
Jersey Flag, New South Wales Cup, they're going to probably win the NRL title.
And I would argue that New South Wales Cup side is miles ahead of their finalists, their opposition this week, which we'll talk about more later. This side, you know, I'm loath to say anything positive about this club, but wow.
Yeah, look, this is what you want your club to be, competing for everything. I know they turn and say the NRL title is the pinnacle, but you need to be good in all the grades. It's no good winning the premiership if you
Your next 3 years are no good, yeah.
Yeah, you know, if your New South Wales Cup team's struggling, your flag team sucks, and you got no juniors coming through.
The teams that win get rated. That's just the way it is. The best players get picked from other clubs for big money, and the teams go down. When you've got a championship winning side ready to come through, New South Wales Cup players come up. Penrith aren't going to miss too many players next year, despite losing some core.
I mean, Api Coruscant is the big one for them. He's 32.
Yeah,
Let's not forget that. He's 32, and he's going to the Tigers to play behind a well-beaten pack. New South Wales Cup won the New South Wales Cup team won the competition. Who's the man of the match? They're number 9.
Yeah, it's freaky. They've got so many fullbacks. I mean, Dylan Edwards is up there, arguably the most underrated player in the game. Their New South Wales Cup
fullback of the year
was incredible. And their Jersey Fled fullback was the player of the game and made the play of the game in Golden Point extra time. It was ridiculous. I got to say, it capped off at almost 10,000 people watching that stream on Sunday afternoon. That's a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, how the Jersey Flag and the New South Wales Cup are still not on grand final day, and how the Colts in Queensland and the Q Cup grand final is not on at least Foxtel.
Yeah.
We've got a dedicated sporting channel. And after the prelim, they were showing the greyhound races.
Yeah, it's not good. Look, the Queensland Cup Grand Final was on and it was great. But the quality between that and what I saw yesterday from Penrith is humongous.
I think Penrith are going to beat Norths quite convincingly.
So they'll win that too. Lucky they don't have an NRLW side.
Now, some contentious points coming out of the South Penrith game. Well, and even in the other games, Jason Taumalolo, do you think it was a send-off?
No, I
could have
think
been.
it could have been, yes. Okay, I'm gonna.
If that game was at Parramatta, he's off.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't a prelim, he probably is. I also think you need to referee to the standard. I know they say Origin isn't refereeing. No, Grant Atkins is terrible. Todd Smith, we love you.
Yeah.
They say Origin is ref the same as week to week. We know that's complete baloney. I believe the same to be said about the prelim. I think when it happened, I was like, ooh, and then when he went for 10, I thought, okay, that's fair.
I also think that had the Cowboys won that game, Jason Taumalolo is only getting a fine.
Yeah, it's spot on. It's completely different, and I know we shouldn't say that, but it's true.
Absolutely true. They're not going to rub a player after you see the backlash from Cameron Smith, from Isaac Luke. Now the judiciary turns around and goes, but now they got the cheap way out of it.
They do.
Yeah, they got the cheap way out of it. They go, you didn't make the grand final, you can serve your suspension in the World Cup.
Don't worry about us. Don't need to worry about it.
No.
The Penrith rule was invoked this week. Really army kick out. Shoulder charge. Attempted murder, 8 weeks, and they say, nah, he's a Panther, so you can't suspend him.
That wasn't a suspendable offence.
No, it absolutely wasn't. But for the purpose of this joke, it is.
He shoulder charged his arm. I know there was an uproar and he had...
It was a penalty.
He had prior offences. I get that. But your second offence for a shoulder charge that isn't contact to the head is a grade 1 $3,000 fine, which is what he got. The Jerome Luai high shot, I couldn't even remember it.
It was a slapping over the top.
on Lachlan Lewis.
The issue I had was when the next tackle you're going to reference happened, and they said, yeah, but Luai did the same thing. It was worlds apart.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Tana what a shot.
Oh, it's beautiful. He knocked him clean out. Linu, though, to his credit, laid unconscious for about 0.3 of a second, got up, wanted to knock the bloke out in retaliation. Not great for rugby league, but for me, I felt good.
Well, it was great because Spencer was like stumbling off the field, and then he looked up at the big screen, saw the shot, and turned around and was like,
you and me, we're going to go.
But Milne, I don't know what was going through his head. He left his feet and just swung his arm.
Superman punch.
Now, when it happened, I was like, oh, he's just dropped the ball, and he dropped the ball before the shot happened, which is I saw people turn around and go, yeah, he dropped the ball and then the shot happened, so, it shouldn't be a penalty. Okay, so you telling me that every time someone drops a ball now, you can just run in and elbow him in the face?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's the rule. Yeah, that was as clear a send-off as you'll ever see. Prelim or not, I don't care.
Yeah, and now he's 6 weeks. Yeah. What the match review committee, though, have done is an absolute crime here, giving Tana Milne 6 weeks, because he was going to be named lock for Fiji.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
I wanted to see that.
Yeah, that would have been
craziness.
hilarious.
But look,
I think they got that
definite
one.
send off. I know Cam Murray went up to the ref and turned around and said, "Oh, they've had 2 high shots now." You even combine those 2 high shots together, it was nothing compared to what.
No, that's
It was awful. Dan, finally, the NRLW, another successful season.
big time.
The talking point out of this, though, Parramatta won 1 game to get into the finals. The Sydney Roosters didn't lose a game. The clearest cut minor premiers we've had in the NRLW.
Yep, undefeated, unchallenged, dare I say.
Turned in the worst performance of the season, and it's over. Now, there was no protection there for coming first or second.
No, absolutely not.
Could the season have started 2 weeks earlier to give us the 1v2, 3v4 finals format? So you at least get a team that's first or second guaranteed to be in the grand final.
Yes and no. Yes, because it completely makes sense, but no, because it means every game means something, which is what they're going for. Plus, they've got to get them in so the grand final's on grand final day.
Yeah, but you could have started the competition 2 weeks earlier and you still would get the grand final on grand final day.
Yeah. Look, yeah, you could definitely do that. I don't think next year it'll probably come in when the competition's expanded. But look, the Roosters, to their credit, aren't saying much because last year they needed to win by about 30 points on the final day. Got in to the finals after winning like 1 or 2 games. Beat the red hot Broncos, went through and won the grand final. So what's good for the Geese?
It's good for the game. Now, the best thing that's come out of these last 2 NRLW competitions is Jamie Soward hasn't won it.
Jerry,
Talk to me, Dan.
time to talk some green and gold.
If we have to.
Well, yes, we do have to. Now, I've seen about 1,000 predicted 17s and I don't like any of them. Given the amount of players that are unavailable for Australia through choice and otherwise, pain us, or injury, of course, we're going to pick our 17. So, Mal Meninga, send us a check. You're welcome.
Fullback.
James Tedesco, no discussion needed.
No discussion needed as well. I think they will take Dylan Edwards to shadow him, though. Dylan Edwards will get a game.
Look, completely fair. Now, we should say this is the side we would send, not the side that we expect to be picked, because Mal's going to mess it up somewhere.
Yeah, he'll mess it up somewhere. Winger number 1 for me, Josh Adokar.
Yes, he's going to right the wrong from Mr. Freddie Fittler, also a big fan of the show. Didn't pick the best winger in the game. Disgusting.
Well, Ronaldo's a Kiwi.
Yeah, well, second best winger in the game. Disgusting. Josh Adokar.
Other winger?
Selwyn Cobbo.
Yeah, I think it'll be Selwyn Cobbo. It's going to be between Selwyn Cobbo and Ruben Garrick because there's just no wingers. I don't think they'll pick Corey Oates.
No, me neither. I think he's up to it. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying Coates is going to play. My understanding is he said, no, I'm playing for PNG.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have selected Xavier Coates thinking that he's going to play for Australia, but it's going to be up in the air for mine whether Alex Johnson goes and plays in the World Cup or not, because both of them want to play fullback. So you could see Xavier Coates on the wing for Australia if your option is to play on the wing for Australia or for PNG, you go and play on the wing for PNG.
No, look, I don't think it matters. I'm picking Cobbo either way. I think he's a more dangerous footballer all-rounder. Like, Coates can jump high and he can score tries, but so can Jaden Ockenbaugh, and he's playing reserve grade. So
yeah, that's fair. Look, Selwyn Cobbo, I'm cool with that. Centre number 1 for mine, the centre of the year, Valentine Holmes.
yeah, I don't think anyone can argue with that. I've seen people picking him on the wing. Don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic winger. Centre of the year.
Yeah, you're moving Valentine Holmes. I saw some that said, let's move Valentine Holmes from centre onto the wing to put Joseph Suwali from the wing into the centres, which made no sense. And now I've seen today people saying Jack Whiten in the centres. No.
Jack Whiten's not in the top 30 players, let alone 17. Now, I did see some conjecture here, people saying that, because, spoiler alert, Latrell Mitchell's my next centre, he'll play on the left side. And they're saying, well, Val's a left centre. He won a premiership on the right wing for Cronulla. I don't think he's going to struggle.
I don't think it's going to matter who's playing what centre position.
These players are elite.
Yeah.
Speaking of elite,
5'8".
Cam Munster.
No discussion needed.
Who else could they take? No one, that's who.
Well, I mean,
No.
I did see people say a DCE Cleary or Ben Hunt in the 6. No. Cam Munster. Best 6 in the game.
Yes, pick your best 6.
Halfback?
Conjecture.
Now, do you pick the State of Origin winning captain in the halves? I think you pick him in the squad, but Nathan Cleary's your man in the final.
I'm going to agree with Cleary. I think he's in a bit better form now, but if they go with DCE, you're not going to get many complaints from me.
I think you have to look for the future for Australia now. Terry Evans is in his 30s. Give him a couple of games. Look, if Cleary doesn't fire a shot, you've got DCE as your backup.
You certainly do.
Prop?
Tino.
Yeah.
The first player picked was huge for the PM's 13. Look, I know that it was Queensland Cup opposition quite literally, but he destroyed him. Best player on the park for mine of, 1,000 good players. So he's a genius. Get him in the squad.
I've got Big Tino as well, and I've got Regan Campbell-Gillard. Now, anyone who turns around and says Matt Lodge, yes, he was in great form, but he ain't playing for Australia.
No, he's not. We saw Gordon Tallis, who's got an inroad for these discussions, say no thank you, and I'm 100% agreeing with him. So, I think Campbell-Gillard's a better player anyways.
I think Campbell-Gillard's been the form forward of the final series, and you always see these storyline players that get into the Australian squad. Don't need a storyline, just pick him.
Absolutely do. Now, he has been chosen for Fiji, which says to me he hasn't said no yet, but I think that's contingent on. So,
absolutely.
RCG for me.
Now, number 9, you and I had a fight off air. Who did we land on?
Ben Hunt. Yeah, I think that's the guy who, he does it for Queensland. I think he's the perfect number. I think he's the best number 9 in the game when he wants to be.
If he wants to be. Yeah, look, I think you go with the Queensland, what they did, the 9 and 14.
It worked.
And you leave Benny Hunt on the field if you need to, or you give him a spell. But yeah, start him at number 9.
Plus, if Cleary's not having the greatest game, you've got a pretty handy halfback wearing 9. So I think it's foolproof.
Back row, now we've picked the obvious pick in the back row. And we've picked a newcomer.
Bolter? Look, Cameron Murray. Now, I saw some people come out and say he hasn't played that position for Australia, blah, blah, blah. You put him at fullback, hooker, front row, second row. Cam Murray's going to be the best player in that position. He's in for me.
Yeah, and the other one's Sean Lane.
A month ago, I would have looked at you and said, probably not. But right now, I can't see a way Sean Lane isn't in the side.
Yeah, look, I know people have turned around and said it's between Sean Lane and Hudson Young. Hudson Young probably needs to go and play for Scotland then.
Yeah, I think Sean Lane's a better player. Look, I would put Nat Butcher above Hudson Young, but for the purpose of this argument, Sean Lane all day.
And there's another back row that we've put on the bench who's
pretty handy.
Yeah. And look, lock forward.
Your favourite player?
Yeah, Isaiah. It's no discussion.
Undisputed.
There. Now we were undisputed on the bench. 2 players. 2 players. And that is obviously Harry Grant.
Yeah, who has to be there.
Has to be there. And I think you've got to reward the Wally Lewis medalist in Origin. I think Pat Carrigan gets on the bench.
Yes, he could start. He could very well start anywhere from the front row to the back row. Has to be there.
Yeah, he has to be there. Now, we've picked a bolter.
A second bolter. We have picked here. Ruben Cotter. Yeah,
he deserves this.
I don't think any player deserves it quite as much as he does. Bloke doesn't miss a tackle.
And we need a mullet at the World Cup.
Very good point. Australia.
And the other player as well, Angus Crichton.
Yeah, if he doesn't start, maybe Sean Lane, they make a sweet change. Who's going to beat that 17, honestly? People are going to say, what about Jake Trbojevic? What about Jake Trbojevic?
Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
It's time to talk some black, white and blue.
My favourite time of the week.
Yeah, look, it was great that they couldn't ruin my weekend this weekend, so I'm here on a positive.
That is very true.
Now, we had the Portugal medal on Friday night. I had the alerts on to make sure Cronulla didn't do anything stupid. And they didn't do anything stupid.
You never quite know though, do you?
No, look, and the reason why I say I don't want to do anything stupid, in 2013... Todd Carney missed the Dally M by a point, and Michael Gordon took all the awards.
Yeah, well, it is Cronulla. We have a history.
It is Cronulla, and we have a history of not giving the Player of the Year to the most deserving player. Every year we kind of just went, it's Paul Gallen.
It was fair.
It was fair, that's why it's called the Portugal medal. But look, make no mistake, Cronulla got it absolutely spot on. The members voted. The sponsors voted, everyone voted. Nico Hines took everything.
Player of the Year by a long, long way. I want to give a shout out to the Sharks team because they managed to stretch the night for 3 hours when they could have gone in and gone, Nico Hines, everyone go.
Yeah, absolutely. You could have just turned up and everyone just sort of gathered around, took your photo with Nico, giving him his medal. But look, and fair play to them as well. They also stretched it out. They stopped tweeting and they stopped doing the presentation through the final 5 minutes of the Cowboys Parramatta game. Because everyone's eyes were glued to the screen. No one cared about it anymore. But look, Lockie Miller took our Rookie of the Year in 4 games.
Yeah, I don't think. Who else is going to?
Cade Dykes and Kale Lyra were the only other. Oh, Jesse Colhern, Tommy Hazleton as well. But yeah, no, Lockie Miller took that in the canter.
That's fair. Players player though, Britain Nakora. What are your thoughts?
I think the players are stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Thank you.
You know, this is why they're footballers, mate.
Yeah,
look.
No, I think it was Nico's going to win everything. Let's give it to.
Yeah, there were 5 players better than Britain Nakora in our squad this year, and one of them wasn't Blake Brayley, so I'm happy he didn't get anything. But yeah, look, if you honestly, if you looked at over 25 weeks and went, the second best player in our team was Britain Nakora, you're an idiot.
I'm really making some friends today.
Good, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to tweet this one out. Congratulations to all the winners, of course. I think the majority of them were right. I don't really see how Britain Nakora can win Players Player, but he wasn't terrible.
No, he wasn't terrible, but the players are idiots.
Yeah, fair. A little less controversial, perhaps, Terry. Let's talk about Sharks to the World Cup.
I mean, it's going to be controversial. You and I were just talking about it. We don't think Nico Hines is going to make the Australian squad.
No, which I think is an absolute absurdity.
Bloke's just about to go and win the Daly M or go as close as you possibly can. And
they're going to pick Jack White, aren't they?
They are going to pick Jack White.
They're going to pick Jack White, which is a disgrace. Look, so Nico, 50-50 to go to the World Cup. If he does go, he'll probably get a game in the group stage. I just can't see it. I think his time will come.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is the problem with the selectors. They're gonna pick the old faithful. I would, you and I pick the squad that we think should go over there. I'd be surprised if Cotter and Lane are on that plane, and it's going to be Turbo and some other old has-been as well. Probably Tyson Frizzell.
Yeah,
he ain't doing anything. Dane Gaggai's probably going to be in there. What do you do?
But players that are going, Terry, we got a few. We got a contingent.
We do, and there's still other squads that haven't been announced at the moment as well. But we've got the 3 boys in the Kiwis. You've got Ronaldo Mulatalo. I think he's going to start on the wing.
100%, best wing in the game.
Britain Nakora will get a spot on the bench. Braden Hamlin-Uele has the chance, with Jared Warrior-Hargroves out, to force his way onto the bench.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy forward pack, that, with Tarpany and Fisher-Harris starting.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've got some really old forwards as well, like Kenny and Jesse Bromwich. So if Braden can go in there and show that he's a player for the future and have a better game than them in the group stages, then I think he could push himself onto the bench.
Very true.
Ceci Fatalakai, Andrew Fafita and Sione Katoa have been picked for Tonga in the 38-man squad as well. Obviously, Christian Wolf will cut that down.
Yeah, look, Katoa's 50-50 at best, considering injury only. Otherwise, he'd be the first winger picked. Talakai's going to play a big role, whether that be in the centres or the second row. Or at lock, wherever they pick him, that's a star-studded side. Could use a half, but I think they're going to go deep in the tournament. Expect to see plenty of Talakai. I think Fafita will go. I think he has to travel. You need Fafita on that. I can't see him making that 17 though.
I can't see him making the 17, but you're right. He's your 18th man. Sit there on the side of the, on the sideline yelling at players, motivating them.
Absolutely, and if he does get a game, he's going to be the best player in the park for 15 minutes.
Well, I mean, Tomalolo's out for 3 games as well, so there's every chance they do need that spiritual leader in Andrew Fafita.
For sure, we started it. He deserves to go to another World Cup. I think they're going to be very good, and I think our boys will fly. I think Kyle Ero will be the star for the Cook Islands. Look, their side's going to be good, it's littered with NRL talent. It's going to be markedly better than the one we saw play in the mid-season test. Can't see them making it past the group stage. Maybe a win is too far to hope, but I think he'll be their best player at fullback. And I think a lot of fans that don't know his name will do at the end of the World Cup.
There's a part of me that wants to see him in the centres, just so we know what we're getting there as well, but also they don't have any halves. They're not going to have the good ball. Oh, fullbacks. The
It's going to make 300 metres running the ball back. It's going to be very exciting.
So, I mean, it's hard to think that a team with, finished second may only have 8 players represent them at the World Cup, but there'll probably be some younger guys who will filter out in the other squad. Billy McGuli's probably not playing for Greece.
Yeah, he's picked. I think he's their one NRL player.
Lachlan Ellis.
Look, that's true. There are a few, and look, there's going to be some players that are going to be on the cusp of these lower nations with the greatest respects. And I dare say there'll be a few people looking at some family trees and go, oh, Jesse Calhoun's got a Welsh second uncle. Let's get him in and play. So keep an eye on. But yeah, we got some big players. But unlike Penrith that are sending like 45, we don't really have to hold our breath through this because injuries are going to happen, whether in the bathtub, running the Manly Corso, or playing in the World Cup. But I dare say Penrith fans will be holding their breath.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter anyway because everyone's just going to England for England to win the World Cup. Dan,
Talk to me, Terry.
it's time for some top sport tips.
I have to say, I got 2 from 2 last week.
Yeah, which means I probably got 9 from 2. Mm-hmm. No, wait, who did I pick last week?
Doesn't matter. I got 2 from 2. Celebrate me on camera.
We picked the same, didn't we?
I can't remember. This week, 3 from 3.
I picked Parramatta.
No, I picked Parramatta.
I'd like to apologise. I fact-checked and you did get perfect, but as you told me, it doesn't count.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. This week, 3 from 3.
Look, this is going to be a fantastic
Tremendous
grand final day, littered with talent everywhere that there is.
It's good to get a real grand final day back in its spiritual home that is Western Sydney.
Yeah. 1 at the Penrith Panthers and the North Devils kick off your festivities in the State Cup. It's back. I didn't know if it was going to be played or not. Someone made a fool of me on Twitter and said that the game wasn't going to be played. And I got upset, Dan, because this is actually my favourite game of the day.
It is fun. You never know what you're going to get. The Queensland Cup team could still be on the tins on the plane trip down, or they're going to turn up like we saw barely.
Remember when the PNG Hunters, they were just so happy.
Yeah, they were drinking Carver all week, rocked up and got belted by 6. I think the Dragons got them in the end, but look, we saw Burley turn up very seriously. Couldn't stand the Newtown.
Yeah.
But this week, look, Norse, Tyson Gamble led Norse. Back-to-back premiers, they get their shot. I think they'll get flogged.
If Penrith haven't been at the Peachtree Tavern all week, they're going to go there and just absolutely annihilate them. I think this Penrith team is going to be too professional. The way that the club's going at the moment, they would have banned them from every waterhole in Western Sydney. They're going to go there and they're going to do an absolute number on this North team.
This Penrith New South Wales Cup team could beat 5 or 6 NRL sides, and I say that with no smile.
No.
That is legitimately... They'll belt the Dolphins next year. Well, half of them are at the Dolphins for the start. I think Penrith win this, and I think they win it very, very well.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Penrith 13 plus by half time. Yeah. NRLW is the pre-main event.
It's going to be huge, I think. Two expansion teams. Newcastle finished dead last year. Didn't win a single game. Didn't even come close. Recruited really, really well. Our good mate Gavin Badger in the pre-season tipped them to win.
He tipped him on the back of Millie Ball going there, and she hasn't been their best player.
No, she hasn't. They've had some wonderful players. It's just a good system. It's good to see Newcastle doing well at something, which it's hard to say on camera, but I genuinely believe that. Against Parramatta, who scraped in, and then beat the Red Hot Roosters, smashed the Red Hot Roosters, and now go in on, the best win in their history, let's be honest. I think Newcastle, though...
Yeah, I think Newcastle as well, Dan. I want Newcastle to win it. Jessie Southwell, their 17-year-old halfback, won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. What a year it'd be to cap off for her. She's been sensational. This Newcastle team, they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. This is going to be one of those games that's going to be like 38-32.
Yeah, now I know the Roosters were the runaway minor premiers, but they only beat this Newcastle team by 2 points.
Yep.
In the fixture that they had. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't think it's going to be 38-32, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think Newcastle are going to absolutely dust them. Parramatta
are going to need to play like they did last week, not like they played the preceding couple of weeks. I think it'll be a little bit closer than that. I think it'll be high scoring, but I think Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Newcastle 13 plus again in this one.
Fair enough.
Dan.
The main event.
The Battle of the West.
How about that Rugby League?
I'm looking forward to this one. This is probably a grand final, the most anticipated grand final I've had since 2016.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, last year was tough because of obvious reasons. This is perfect.
Yeah, this is
going to be an absolute... I think it's going to be a blue and gold whitewash.
It's
in the fans, of course.
Yeah, it's hard to remember the last time there was a genuine grudge match in a grand final. Like Cronulla and Melbourne hated each other, but that was only for a season.
Yeah, that's true.
When was the last time we had a genuine rivalry? I'm going to go back to 2004 and say Canterbury versus the Roosters.
Yeah, look, everyone hates Manly, so anytime Manly plays a rivalry, but that's been a long, long time now.
Yeah.
Can't really think of anything. You haven't seen a Roosters Bunnies grand final or
Roosters Dragons.
yeah, no,
nothing.
that's a completely fair call. This is just it's got all the makings. You notice both teams have been very quiet in the media. I know it's only start of the week, but I think that's tactic.
Now, we're talking about a Penrith dynasty, or on the verge of a
Potential.
dynasty here. Now, let's have a look at teams that have made 3 consecutive grand finals. We'll go back to
Roosters?
95, 96, 97. The Manly Warringah Seagulls were
Oh, yeah.
untouchable, won 1 premiership. Ricky's Roosters, untouchable, won 1 premiership. Melbourne Storm, 16, 17, 18, won 1 premiership. Now, the Roosters went back-to-back, didn't make the 3rd consecutive grand final. Penrith, for them to be known as, for mine, the best team in the NRL era, have to win this game.
Agreed. If they don't, I think they've missed out because they're going to lose some superstar players next year. Maybe come back a little bit. But on the other side, it's do or die for Parramatta. They built this side for this game.
Now, you remember in the preseason, Brad Arthur turned around and said, we know we're losing players, so we have to win a premiership this year. Everyone laughed.
They did. Except us. We jumped on and said, you're going to make the grand final against Penrith. We did.
Yeah, and you're probably going to lose this game 13 plus. But congratulations to both teams making it. Look, I feel sorry for Parramatta. It's going to be another one of them, so close but so far. Your premiership drought's going to continue for probably another 10 years now. But yeah, I think this Penrith team, they know that there's so much at stake.
Very harsh, Terry.
I've got a question for you, though, for Penrith. The game changed when Appy Coruscant
Came on.
came onto the field. Do you start Mitch Kenny?
No, I don't put Mitch Kenny in the 17 to be totally honest. But no, you don't. Because Parramatta, if they get 18-0 up, are hard to run down. South, not so much as we saw. So, no.
Yeah, I get, Ivan Cleary is the best coach in the game at the moment, and what he's done is absolutely fantastic. But Mitch Kenny's not even going to be starting hooker next year. Ooh. He cannot. This is the grand final. Like, Mitch Kenny and Jamin Salmon need to be on the bench for as long as possible.
You start your best players, and I think undisputedly Appy Coruscant. I'm going to tip Parramatta.
Why?
For lols.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm going to tip Penrith.
I'm going Parramatta. I think the emotion, and I think Penrith are going to go in thinking they're going to win, and I think they get done. What I don't want to see this week is we're going to ambush you. You can't announce an ambush, Terry. And I'm sick of seeing it every week. South Sydney, stop it.
Canberra.
Stop it.
I'm going to pick Penrith 13 plus. I think I'm going to go all 3 grand finals 13 plus.
Parramatta for me, Mitch Moses field goal, 79th minute, 19-18.
I am going to 26-10. Dylan Edwards, get on him for your Clive Churchill medal.
Fair enough.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by Puncture Media, our good friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe, check them out, buy merchandise through them. Tell them Terry and Dan sent you as well. It's been a great year for us. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't forget to jump on, leave us some comments. We promise to send out merchandise packs eventually. Dan, for the last time this year,
Penrith.
Parramatta.
Rugby League, baby.